Hi everyone, this is E, the Empty Nester. Today I'm going to talk about worms and the benefits of having them in the garden, and also a product that the worm getter sent to me. It's actually a worm catcher, and I thought this would be a great addition to add to the garden, because if you don't find that you have enough in your garden, you can add some food scraps and that, and then go around your yard and put it in down to about here. See the level right here? Stick it in the ground. And you do that for about 30 seconds, and then the worms should be coming up and out of the ground, like tons of them. I'll put a link to the worm getter's video so you can see how it works for him. And I've been going over my yard over and over and over, and for a month or more couldn't find any worms, because this summer, from probably March till August, we had rain, flooding rains, and we would see the birds out here going after these worms, and I thought that either they were all eaten or they floated down the Mississippi somewhere and they're all down there at his place. But I'm finding now that we've had some rain, when I dig in the soil, I'm finding some. This one right here is probably 1.5 inches at the most long, but if you can see, he's just laying here. He's dormant because of the cold temperatures. You have to wake him up, and the vibrations of the stick, that's how this works, is you put the stick in. Oh, look, it is working. Here's a worm. Check that out. Oh my God. Let me see if any more come up. That guy's awake, where this guy's asleep. But what I can do now is take some of these and put them in my vegetable bed, and get them back into producing good soil in my garden. And another benefit for this is we live in a fishing community. We're 8 miles from the lake of the Ozarks. So anytime we need to catch some bait, you just put this in an area that's kind of rich for worms, instead of looking like I did everywhere trying to find worms. And I finally found them here in this. This is a new bed that I started with compost. Look at this. Here's another one. Oh my God, look. I've got worms. Not only can I play in the dirt, I can play with the worms. Let me put them here. There's 3. You see how sleepy they are? I've learned so much about worms. It's like they're not actually native to our country. They were brought over here on ships with plants, and then migrated all over the United States. And that's the reason some areas, like we have night crawlers, and then we have the little guys like this. The night crawlers can be, in the spring, you'll watch some of my videos where I'm planting, and it's like a snake coming out of the ground at you. Really large night crawlers. And they do all the finish work on the soil, where the little guys, kind of like red wigglers, these are brown. I don't know if they're baby night crawlers or not, but the tiniest ones are up on the top of the soil, eating, grass and anything dead. They're composting, constantly composting everything that's wasted and turning it into worm castings, which creates rich soil. And then the big guys come along, and it's kind of like 3 stomachs, little worm, big worm, and bigger worm. And they process and process and process until you've got, there's another one. Got really rich soil. But let's try this one more time and see. We can wake anybody else up. I think it's something about the vibration annoys them and they come up. There's one. He was headed up. Wake up, wake up. We need worms. And I know this is cheating, putting my hands in the soil, but it's just so tempting, you know. I'm getting my fix before winter of playing in the soil. And you never know, I might find more potatoes like this one in my potato garden. But I won't keep you for now. I just wanted to let you know a little bit about the history and the benefit. You know, I don't actually do a worm bin because I've read about red wigglers when you bring them into your area and release them. There's been, like, I think it was Pennsylvania, you'd have to look it up on the internet, but I read a story where people would go fishing and then throw out their worms, the red wigglers that aren't native, they're from Africa, and they've went in and deforested the floor of their forests in Pennsylvania. Just look up or search invasive worms in the United States, and they've killed some of the native plants in the understory in the forests. So it's not good to release, buy and release red wigglers into your environment if they don't belong in your environment. I've seen in another video where the worms actually, they can't make it up here in the soil when they're in the top of the soil because it freezes, but their eggs can get in here and get comfortable and last all winter and then reproduce. All these little guys will die this winter, but their eggs will be hatching next spring, so they will be returned. That's how they became accustomed to our climate. You know, kind of like butterflies and caterpillars, they lay their eggs and next spring everybody hatches. And look at this, somebody planted a walnut. I bet you it was a squirrel. That's how I get walnut, toxic. Walnuts are toxic to a lot of plants, but the squirrels keep planting walnuts and pecans everywhere. I'll just throw that in the woods and they can find it and eat it, or bury it again. Like yo-yos, they'll bring it back and put it in my garden again and come out of his soil. This guy is still sleeping. Look at that worm. Wake up, wake up. He's not dead. And I've learned too that the reason they come up in the rain is it's easier for them to travel across the ground with water. They need water to coat their skin and keep them wet. So they come up when it rains and travel to another area. There's a baby, teeny tiny baby. Exciting news. I guess I'm worm happy today. But I guess I rambled on long enough. I hope you've learned a little bit about worms and their benefit, because we actually need them, or I need them in my garden. I have potatoes. That's exciting. But I'll finish, turning this bed up and pulling the plastic out, and excited to see worms. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, or week, depending on when you see this video. And go buy the worm getters and watch him do this, and millions of worms, not millions, hundreds of worms will wake up.